In the past videos, I've talked about cancer extensively on what to do if you have cancer, but I really haven't focused too much on this very, very important action of preventing cancer. Because, like Sun Tzu says in the book, The Technology of War, you want to win the war, but without going to battle. If you wait until you get cancer and then try to fight it, not good outcomes. There are things you can do, and I've talked about that, but they're a bit extreme, like fasting for 21 to 30 days at a time, especially if you don't have enough stored fat on your body. Some people do, some people don't. The point is that if you can prevent cancer, which is the second leading cause of death, that would be the wisest thing to do. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. But some people don't even recognize that they have their own built-in army already existing in their arsenal of defenses. That's right. You have an immune system, right? And we're going to talk about how to strengthen your immune system. Not necessarily generally speaking, but there's two very specific cells within the immune system that directly attack and kill cancer cells. So absolutely, it's important to strengthen the mitochondria. It's important to understand your genetic weaknesses, even though the epigenetics are way more important. But what are the most important things you can do to strengthen these two cells that directly kill cancer? And we're talking about killer T cells, and number two, natural killer cells. One is in the innate immune system, which you're born with, that you've received from your mother. And the other system is something that you acquire over time by being exposed to certain things and then your immune system adapting and becoming stronger. But if we can learn from other people's experiences, so we don't have to go through them, and understand also the research on how to strengthen the immune system, which is kind of like the missing action among so many types of things that being promoted out there, especially in the last few years. It's like our immune system is secondary to other treatments. So to strengthen these two cells, let me go through the list. Okay, number one, exercise. Exercise will greatly enhance these two cells, but specifically walking. But the thing about walking is that it helps you flush out cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that inactivates the immune system. It paralyzes these two cells. It shuts them down and causes them to go to sleep. So by lowering cortisol through walking, long walks, that would be very therapeutic. There's many other exercises that will also help this. And even physical work is probably even equivalent to walking because it takes the mind off of your stresses of daily living. And so if we compare exercise to inactivity, inactivity actually is a major cause for heart attacks and disease and even cancer. But exercise as itself, regular, consistent walking, would be very, very therapeutic. Now, as far as the type of fuel that enhances the immune system, ketones, believe it or not, and I'm going to put the research down below, are the best things or fuel to support a strong, healthy immune system. There's some great data on this as compared to a high carb sugar diet, which weakens the immune system. It creates stress, it creates inflammation, and cancer even spreads into areas of inflammation. And that includes also all the other conditions that are associated with inflammation, like autoimmune diseases, metabolic syndrome. It includes Alzheimer's, it includes Parkinson's, it includes hypertension. Now, I already mentioned stress and the importance of keeping stress low because you want to keep cortisol low. On the flip side, if you're taking a medication like a synthetic cortisol, like in prednisone, boy, that really has severe side effects on the immune system. So if you have inflammation or some type of disorder that you're taking prednisone, you need to find an alternative. The best alternative for prednisone, which is a synthetic cortisol, is vitamin D. And vitamin D directly helps improve these two cells. Vitamin D acts like cortisol without the side effects, but you have to have vitamin D in higher amounts, like maybe 20, 30, 40, even 50,000 IUs per day. Vitamin D pretty much connects with every single immune cell has receptors for vitamin D. And this also relates to the sun, right? Getting enough sun, but without becoming burnt. So people that are concerned about melanoma or skin cancer, stay out of the sun, which I understand that. But the benefit of sun is not just vitamin D. It's also over 50% of the rays from the sun is infrared, which stimulates melatonin throughout the body, not just in our brains, in our pineal gland, but throughout our bodies. Melatonin is one of the most potent antioxidants. I did a deep dive on that, I'll put the link down below, but it's a powerful antioxidant to protect you against some of the harmful radiation from sun. Now, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but a lot of these things indirectly and directly relate to each other. Like, for example, stress. When you go through stress, it's like eating sugar. Prednisone activates sugar. So this explains why if someone doesn't eat sugar and all of a sudden they have high blood sugar, it could be from the side effect of stress or prednisone or just having high levels of cortisol. And of course, too much cortisol affects your sleep, and a lack of sleep weakens the immune system big time. So we need good rest. All these things have a very interesting relationship because even exercise helps you reduce stress, that helps you sleep, that helps you no longer burn sugar fuel. And if sugar weakens the immune system, ketones strengthen the immune system. So ketones are a byproduct from burning fat, and ketones are anti-inflammatory. They can act as antioxidants. There's a great study that I'm going to link down below of showing ketones strengthening these two cells that directly kill cancer, the killer T cells, as well as the natural killer cells. So getting into ketosis is also part of the plan. Very, very important. Now, out of all the body organs and glands, the thymus gland is the key gland to help train your T cells, okay? So the thymus is very important. Unfortunately, when we age, the thymus shrinks, okay? But we can counteract this as well. There's a couple things that will cause more atrophy than others. For one, chronic stress, which we already talked about, and also getting older, but also a zinc deficiency. The immune system is greatly dependent on zinc. So having enough zinc, shellfish, taking zinc as a supplement can strengthen and prevent the thymus gland from atrophying and shrinking. Now, since we're on the topic of nutrients, we've talked about vitamin D, talked about zinc, vitamin C, very, very important. And another vitamin, vitamin A. A vitamin A deficiency can greatly weaken these two cells. Where do you get vitamin A from? Well, egg yolks, you get vitamin A from vegetables, but that's just in the precursor beta carotene that then turns into vitamin A or the active form of retinol, but not a higher conversion. So don't depend on your vitamin A from the precursors in plants. You're not going to be able to get enough of the active form of retinol from just plant foods. It's in beef liver. It's also in cod liver oil, which probably your grandmother gave you, which is very, very important. Cod liver oil has vitamin D, vitamin A, and omega-3 fatty acids. And so these are all things that actually boost up the immune system. There are things that counter the immune system too, like, of course, alcohol, smoking, radiation and chemotherapy for cancer, and other medications, especially the organ transplant rejection drugs, greatly suppress the immune system. But I do want to come back to zinc for a second, because it's not just a matter of taking zinc, but understanding what can deplete zinc. The biggest reason why 2 billion people on this planet are deficient in zinc is because of phytates in grains, not even refined grains, but in whole grains, phytates in cereals. So if you're thinking that, oh yeah, whole grains are really helping my immune system, well, they're depleting your zinc, not the best food in the world for your immune system. So some of the things you probably already knew before, but there's some other things that you may not be aware of. Number one, having low cholesterol can weaken the immune system to the point where you're more susceptible to getting cancer. That's right. So even if someone's on a statin drug, okay, that can increase your risk of getting certain types of cancer. In one study, it was even shown that you can double your risk of getting certain types of cancer because of this cholesterol connection. You need cholesterol for a healthy immune system.